Welcome to this explainer. Imagine this for a second. You close your laptop at the end of a long, exhausting day, you go to sleep, and the next morning, you wake up to find brand new, fully functional software projects built entirely overnight. And no, you didn't secretly hire a night shift developer. You actually built an autonomous AI coworker. Today, we're unpacking exactly how to set up a localized AI workforce that builds workflows, dashboards, and apps for you, literally while you're asleep.
That feeling, waking up to something new that it just built on its own, is exactly the magic we're dissecting today. We're going to treat this explainer like a literal construction project. Because think about it, to get an AI to build complex things for you autonomously, you can't just throw random tasks at it and hope for the best, right? You absolutely need clear blueprints, a rock-solid foundation, and the exact right environment. So we're going to demystify this entire setup process from start to finish.
Here is our roadmap for the build. We'll cover 1. The autonomous coworker, 2. The blueprint, or PRD, 3. Architecture and deployment, 4. The 5-hour build timeline, 5. Dashboards and workflows, and finally, 6. Overcoming setup blockers. So, step 1. The autonomous coworker and setting the rules. The system we're analyzing uses Claude Co-work as a local AI agent, but listen, before it writes a single line of code, you have got to set strict operating instructions. You have to prevent it from going rogue. First rule, PRD first, always. It has to write a plan before building anything. Second, it must actually push back and question your strategy if something seems technically off. Third, aggressive note-taking is vital for its memory management. And crucially, reversibility checks. Interrupting you with a question is always cheaper than silently destroying your files.
All right, moving on to part 2, the blueprint and writing PRDs.
Look, just like a real building, you can't just wing it, or the whole thing is going to collapse. You need a product requirement document, or a PRD. Without this outlining your starter projects, your agent might just waste an hour building the completely wrong thing, which is super frustrating. A great PRD tells the AI the exact problem, the scope, how to measure success, and the build steps. This way, it understands the mission completely before starting the actual work. Part 3, architecture and where your agent lives. Now that we've got our blueprint, we need a physical site for the build. Sure, you could run the agent on your local laptop, but there's a massive catch here. The second your laptop goes to sleep, your agent dies with it. Boom, hours of progress vanished instantly. No way. Deploying on a virtual private server, like a hosting or VPS, for example, is essential. It gives you 24/7 persistent deployment so those heavy workloads never crash. Plus, your API keys and credentials stay totally private on your own infrastructure. And it literally allows you to kick off a task from your phone and just wake up to it completely done. And the underlying foundation of this entire build, that's the data lake. Think of it kind of like digging a massive hole for a man-made lake. Now, a dry hole isn't very useful, right? You have to fill it with water. And here, the water is your data. You create these folder structures and pipelines that constantly trickle fresh data into your central system. That is what gives the agent the raw materials it needs to actually work with.
Let's jump into part 4, the build timeline and the 5-hour plan.
Okay, with the rules, blueprints, and servers ready to go, it is time for execution. Let's run through this chronological 5-hour path. Hour 1, we're setting up that data lake foundation. Hour 2, we build the investment dashboard. Hour 3 focuses on a customized morning brief and specialized skills. Hour 4, that's where we unlock the autonomous builder. And finally, Hour 5 is completely dedicated to end-to-end testing and polish. See how that works? You build the superstructure directly on top of your data lake foundation. Which brings us to part 5, dashboards and workflows and what the AI builds. Let's actually zoom in on what the AI builds during these hours, because it's pretty incredible. In Hour 2, it builds an investment dashboard. It takes the raw water from your data lake, your financial data, stock trackers, portfolio numbers, and transforms it into this highly visual mission control. And it even offers custom advice based entirely on your personal investing philosophy. Hour 3 is where things get truly customized. The AI creates what we call skills, which are basically set instructions for specific tasks. The Today skill compiles your scattered calendar, email, and chat data into one clean daily digest. Then there's a research skill, letting you just type a command to deep dive into specific stock tickers instantly.
And my favorite, the prep skill. This looks at your upcoming calendar meetings and generates the exact context and attendee info you need. Seriously, you will never walk into a room blind again. All of this culminates in hour 4 with the ultimate tool, the autonomous builder. This is the secret sauce. This is what enables that overnight magic we talked about. And the workflow is surprisingly simple. It's entirely folder-based. You and the AI draft a PRD and drop it into a pending folder. Operating on a strict 30-minute schedule, the AI just picks it up, moves it to in progress, and works away in the background. When it's finished, it drops the final product into the done folder, or failed if it happens to hit a snack.
Finally, part 6, overcoming blockers and troubleshooting.
Look, real-world construction always requires maintenance. The PRD gets you about 95% of the way there, but you are for sure going to hit some blockers. If your laptop sleeps and kills the agent, we already know the fix. Deploy on a VPS so it runs 24/7. For mid-build errors, you'll usually need to step in manually just to grant file permissions or maybe make some minor tweaks to the PRD on the fly. And as you scale into a real power user, your agent's memory system will eventually bloat and slow down. The long-term fix there is implementing a more complex, segmented memory architecture.
We've explored the rules, the blueprints, the server architecture, the 5-hour build timeline, and the specific workflows that make all of this happen. You now understand the blueprint for a localized AI workforce. So I want to leave you with this. If you set up this architecture and your AI coworker literally never sleeps, what will you have it build for you tonight? Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope you walk away ready to build your own autonomous foundations.